In Reincarnated, Kendrick Lamar shapes this complex narrative over a West Coast-driven Tupac sample.
My life in exchange for yours, born hated as a thug, house full of babies crying for my lack of getting love.
In which he fits effortlessly on as he channels his inner Tupac and raps with so much emotion-driven intensity.
It passed like progression last year and it fucked me up. Reincarnated on this earth for 100+.
The track takes us through the journey of Kendrick's soul as he raps from the perspective of two past musicians who he feels connected to both artistically and spiritually, exploring the cycles of pain, temptation, and struggle that accompany each lifetime he feels his soul once lived.
Gifted as a musician, I play guitar on a grand level. The most talented where I'm from, but I had to rebel.
In the first verse, he begins Reincarnated as John Lee Hooker, one of the most prominent figures in blues history. We see this artist struggle dealing with fame and success, one in which he feels lonely and trapped in, despite having everything.
I manipulated power as I lied to the masses. Died when my money gluttony was too attractive. Reincarnated.
Hooker lets his ego control him and falls into his devilish temptations, using his power and influence solely to manipulate and for his own self-needs. Later, dying alone with just his money and greed to show for it, emphasizing the near-impossible balancing act of brilliance and ego.
My voice was angelic, straight from heaven, the crowd sobbed. A musical genius, what the articles emphasize.
In verse 2, Kendrick raps from the perspective of the Queen of the Blues, Dinah Washington. Her unmatched talent brought her an abundance of fame and success, but it was all too much for her to deal with. She used drugs and sex as an escape, slowly pushing away friends and family, ultimately dying from an overdose at just 39. Her story embodies the way addiction and external pressures weigh on artists who become icons of their time. An artist creating music can be a beautiful communal gift to celebrate, but also can be one of the heaviest burdens to carry.
My present life is Kendrick Lamar, a rapper looking at the lyrics to keep you in awe. The only factor I respected was raising the bar.
In the last verse, Kendrick takes the form of his present self, acknowledging his role as a current leader in music and attempting to use his platform to elevate and inspire, all while grappling with his own malicious flaws and temptations.
Father, I'm not perfect, I got urges, but I hold them down. But your pride has to die. Okay, Father, show me how.
This verse takes a sharp turn when he begins a confrontation with God, as Kendrick embodies the devil himself. The same devil who consumed and corrupted his past lives as Hooker and Dinah.
Every individual is only a version of you. How can they forgive when there's no forgiveness in your heart?
God tells Kendrick he is falling into the same traps the previous musicians fell into, questioning if he will use music as the divine, healing, and uniting gift it can be, or like his past lives, succumb to his soul's devilish nature and use it as a tool for manipulation and greed.
So can you promise that you won't take your gifts for granted? I promise that I use my gifts to bring understanding.
Here, Kendrick expresses a desire to break free from cycles of pride and ego that tarnished these past lives before him. He vows to reclaim music from its darker impulses and use it as a force for unity and understanding, transforming it into a tool for collective growth.
I rewrote the devil's story just to take our power back. Reincarnated.
Kendrick rewrites the devil's story this time, breaking the cycle of the past musicians who let the devil corrupt them after achieving success and fame. He is striving to be a vessel for change going forward, not only for himself and his soul, but also the entire cultural paradigm